so against the Keystone XL project because it benefits only the Koch brothers, period. How do we benefit from that? And if there's oil spills, thank you, John Boehner and Mitch McConnell, for wanting to slip in there that if any oil spills, the taxpayers get to pay for the cleanup. So that's like taking cable and running it through your house to benefit the neighbor across the street. And if something happens in your house, guess what? You're responsible for it, but they get the benefits across the street.
That's the American dream.
Yeah, that's it. We're sellouts in this country. That's why this country is going to hell in a handbasket.
What, 2 weeks ago the gas was at what,
187,
179. It's like, how is it going to go up?
177.
And they no longer have...
2 weeks.
And they said it's going to go up to $5 before the summer.
And then I think these poor people that have, 4 or 5 kids, how are they doing it? They're living on credit.
They're holding times. We will
They're
work
living
for
on
food.
credit. Minimum wage is so low.
Yeah,
you can't survive.
It's not right.
A family of 4, they're trying to live on $20,000, $30,000 a year.
Exactly.
There's no
Less
way.
than that.
There's no way
you can do it.
But let's hack up that gas.
And yet, it is the worst time, the trickle-up economy. That's what it is. It's a trickle-up economy where the top 1% are making all the profits, and nothing is coming down this way. The Robin Hood tax, and we're going to tax the rich to give to the poor. There's no Robin Hood there. They've been stealing from us, from the taxpayers, from the middle class, to give themselves.
Fat little bellies.
How can GE, General Electric, be one of the highest grossing companies and pay no tax? In fact, we pay them. How can we pay the oil companies? They don't pay any taxes. We pay them. We subsidize them. The big agriculture farm corporations, they get subsidies. Why are we paying them? They don't pay nothing to us.
No.
And a lot of the politicians, like Michelle Bachmann and others, are part of these agriculture farming countries. And even that politician lady that's supposed to be poor, and she wore plastic shoes or plastic bags on her shoes or whatever. God, I can't remember her name.
Damn it,
and she said she was a veteran. Well, she never really served at the front lines. She was doing, stateside office. I don't know. I have to look her up.
Because if she's really old, the women weren't
She's
allowed.
not old.
Only
She's
nurses.
not old. She's not old. She's
Well, then
But she touts being a veteran. But she wasn't at the front line. She just alludes to that. And that she was poor and that they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Well, let me tell you something. Subsidies is not... Getting government subsidies and the hundreds of thousands of dollars to your farm does not mean you were pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps.
No.
It means that the taxpayers were paying your ass.
Yeah.
And those are the welfare queens that everybody scares you about. Well, don't worry about the ones getting $100.
$100?
Yeah. No. Worry about the ones that get 100,000 plus a year. And the
somebody that only gets $14.
$14 a month.
Yeah.
$14 a month. How are they going to survive on $14?
How dare the congressman say they don't want minimum wage raised when they keep giving themselves raises?
Oh, yeah.
So, they don't know. They have no clue what anything costs.
No.
They get free
health care. They forgot. They had a clue at one time. They forgot. Because once you get up there...
Once you're making the money, you forget.
Once you get up there...
Well, that's the Millionaires Club over there.
And we're nobody.
They're the Millionaires Club because... And that's why they all crawl, beg, do what they have to do to suck up to whoever to get there. Why? Because they get money from both sides. They get money from us, whether the congressional welfare, and I have to say it because it's true. They do very little work. They work very little hours, and they get benefits for life, whether they serve one term or for life, they get a pension. That's wrong. No other civil service does that. Also, they get free health care, they get free gym, they put all their little trips on their expense account at our expense. To me, that is congressional welfare. That is corruption. And then, on top of that, they get from the lobbyists all the money that they're going to get to be bought because they're all prostitutes, the majority of them. There are a few.
Yeah, they're all the same.
That, no, there's maybe a couple that, I can count them that I don't think are into any special interest. But that's pretty sad when they stand out like sore thumbs.
What makes me upset is when they're trying to help the homeless or the starving people in other countries.
What
When
about us?
here
They
in the
don't take
United
care of the
States,
roads.
here in San Antonio, we have so many people living underneath the bridge because they have nothing, but they don't turn around to try to help them.
Oh,
Or the
heck.
elderly who only get $200-300 in Social Security a month, and they don't even want to help them with food stamps.
No, because they get too much. Those are the ones that get $12 or $13 a month. They
Okay,
suck.
that's who they should be helping.
But our former governor said that
And I doubt
that's
they
what
even.
the people wanted.
I doubt they even go help anyone in other
I
countries.
think that we should take care of our elderly,
Right.
or people that are older than
But
us.
here's the thing. They say they're using this money to help other people in other countries.
I
that
don't
need
give
it.
a
Okay,
rat's
hold
ass
on.
about anybody
Hold
outside
on.
of Texas.
Hold on. They say they're
More or less
using.
in another
They're saying
country.
they're using this money to help them. How do we know where that money's going?
Right.
That money's going into their own pockets.
Yeah, thank
Because if they were going to say, okay, we're going to use this money to help the homeless or the poverty and the people who need it in our United States, then we would actually see proof of that.
Right. And they're making it to the point to where they're making it against the law to feed the homeless,
Yeah.
and they're making it against the law to be, of course, under the bridges and whatever. But they're even arresting in some other state. They keep arresting the same priest.
Priest?
Yeah, who are trying to help.
Who is trying to
You
feed
leave
the
our
hungry.
priest alone, mister.
For feeding the hungry. So it's, and here in our town, they already talking about fining the people that actually give to people begging on the street.
I know.
Well, yeah, but they already told McMahon where he could put that thought.
But no, they're still playing them over. 'Cause
No, no.
I've seen getting pulled
Yeah,
over,
they
put
get-
aside, and
but-
told. And then
No, they get those people
They
in town
even-
to put their signs down.
No.
But those people are making anywhere from $300 to $500 a
Okay,
month,
but
a day.
there's some that are
So
homeless.
if you're making that much money, damn it, get an apartment.
No, there's some
Get
that
your
are,
ass back to
those are
work.
really homeless because I've seen those
They're
getting
making
vehicles
more
and
money than
taken
you
off.
and I.
I've seen those getting vehicles and taken off. But there are a lot of people that are homeless that are living on the street because I've seen them.
But they're
those
not
people,
begging.
Those people are not even begging.
Those are the
I've
ones
gone
not
and give
begging.
them food and stuff. They're over there hiding on the side. They're not begging for food.
Those are not the ones that are making a living off of it. And because they
Yeah.
have focused so much, some of these con artists take advantage of that because they have focused on the veterans being homeless and the veterans being, not having benefits or whatever. Well, so they dress up like veterans. Some of them really aren't
They're
veterans.
not. I mean, they're
They're con artists.
They buy that clothes at Goodwill.
But there are, a lot of these veterans don't realize, or they're too sick
But
at
you
this
go
point.
downtown and there's hundreds underneath the bridge. You go.
Lord, because it's one thing is to try and help those people that really are in need of help and weeding out the
Yeah,
con
and
artists.
there's a lot of cons. So how in the hell are you going to do it?
Well, that's what the police chief was trying to tell you is that
Don't give no money, or you're going to get
Right,
fined.
because we do have shelters in town. We do,
Yeah, but the
but they're
shelters are
over.
dangerous because they'll even get abused or ripped off even in the shelters.
Yeah,
That's why women, what they should do at least is have certain
Something
places
for
that are
women
just
and
for
children.
women and children. I mean, there's hardworking Americans that lose their home because the economy went down the toilet and they weren't able to pay their rent.
yeah,
or
but if you
They
wanna get back on your feet and you're gonna go,
And
well,
that-
no,
Hey,
I
when you
used to
lose-
be a CEO before. I want to go in as a CEO. That ain't gonna happen.
I'm talking about the average American who lost their job,
Nah.
okay?
Okay.
Who was not able to pay their mortgage or homeowner association fees, and they lost everything, okay? And then you're having to feed your kids, and they're still trying to work, flipping burgers or doing something. I'm talking about those people who are still trying.
Those people should be helped.
Because the every time they talk to you about deregulation, it means that you're giving them permission to steal from you, because that's what happened with the mortgage fiasco. They deregulated, and what happened was that they sold all, they were selling homes to people that really didn't qualify for that amount of home.
Right.
And it was just a matter of time before they were going to lose it.
Yep.
So if it took you a month or 2 months, and I saw that personally, to qualify, guess what? You were buying too much house.
You see, and here the banks don't care because they're going to turn around
Right.
and sell it to other people anyway. You got
So
people
they're
coming in
selling
from
it, selling it,
California
selling it,
who are
selling it.
used to paying $1 million for
For
a
a
home
home.
that here costs $160,000. Right? So the bank's going to make their money. They don't care.
They
The
don't
government
care.
doesn't care. They're just letting all these people be washed under the rug.
Exactly. And so these people wound up homeless. And some of them, of course, lost their jobs. And like right now, yes, they're talking about, oh yeah, the gas has to go back up because people lost their jobs. Come on.
The people who are trying to work hard to make ends meet are finally be able to drive from home to work because the gas was at a decent
Exactly.
price.
So if
Not no more. Get a horse. We're in Texas.
the gas corporations, I say, okay, so you don't have a job there anymore, then you're going to get a job somewhere else that's being created by the stimulus of the economy. Because the ones that are driving the economy are the middle class, well, which is really no more middle class,
No.
but the working poor. They're the ones driving the economy, because the wealthy, they're hoarding their money, specifically overseas. They're not spending too much, and they're a very small select group. So they're not going to drive the economy. Any economist will tell you that. So if there's a job closest on here, it's survival. Okay, so this place, no more jobs there. Okay, so you readjust, and new jobs are being created by the stimulus in the economy. It doesn't matter. You know, you adjust, but you'll have more money to buy. And what bothers me is that every time the gas prices go up, inflation goes up, everything goes up, but when the prices come down,
Minimum wage stays down.
It
Right.
stays the same.
and when the prices come down, nothing, no goods reflect that the prices came down. They stay up.
Actually,
What happened with the airplanes?
every June
They're
and every
nuts.
December they crack up the prices on the grocery stores.
No, now it's more frequently than that. It's just about every time I go to
It's
store.
more. Damn it.
And you'll have an eye opener when you go and see the little plastic bins now.
I'm gonna laugh when they tell you there's cover charge to go into there.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're thinking about how to do that. The airlines,
Can I have a beer?
when the gas came down, what did they say? Oh no, we're not going to bring the prices down because we're going to use that money to update our airline aircraft.
Really, making the seats a lot smaller to where you can't even sit down,
You're like this.
and you're paying twice the amount.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have shared with you our views and our opinions, and we invite you to give us your comments and send us your questions. We're on Facebook also under Intuitive Trash Talk.